What happens to your body if you're not lifting weights as you get older? You see, resistance training is pretty much like a miracle drug. If you compare resistance training to any medication, it pretty much wins hands down. So in this video, I first want to talk about what's going to happen to you if you're living a sedentary lifestyle. How will that affect your body? Then I want to cover how 10 weeks of following a resistance training program, how can that improve the quality of your life? And then towards the end of the video, I want to go over all the health benefits of lifting weights on a regular basis that you might not be aware of. Now let's go over what happens to your body when you're not doing resistance training as you get older. And one of the biggest negatives is the average person loses anywhere between 3 to 8% of their muscle mass every decade. So you're losing muscle mass if you're not resistance training. Secondly, your metabolism is going to slow down if you're not doing resistance training because you're losing muscle mass. Muscle increases your metabolism. And the third thing is most people who don't do resistance training as they age have higher body fat levels. So lifting weights increases your muscle mass, increases your metabolism, and helps you burn body fat. Now let's cover what 10 weeks of resistance training can do for your body. And this is what research has shown. If you start lifting weights, say 2-3 times per week, you can put on 3 pounds of muscle in as little as 10 weeks, which is really incredible. Plus, studies have shown that you can actually increase your metabolism by 7% in as little as 10 weeks of resistance training. Plus, the average person generally loses anywhere between 3 to 4 pounds of body fat when they start a resistance training program within the first 10 weeks. And research has also shown that it's actually really good for your bones. It increases like bone density, resistance training. And this is only 10 weeks. Imagine if you start lifting weights 2-3 times per week for the rest of your life, you can improve on all these results. Let's go over all the health benefits of resistance training that you might not be aware of. See, the most unhealthy fat on your body is visceral fat. See, visceral fat is that deep abdominal fat, the fat that surrounds your organs. Actually, research has shown that people who have high levels of visceral fat also have high cholesterol, high blood pressure, could be pre-diabetic or have type 2 diabetes. And actually lifting weights targets and reduces visceral fat. So besides lifting weights, reducing like subcutaneous fat, the white fat, that typical fat that jiggles, it really does help improve and reduce visceral fat. The second thing it does, like we talked about previously, is that it increases your muscle mass. See, when you have more muscle on your body, just think about it. You're going to be stronger. You're going to be able to move around better. Your chances of falling as you age are greatly reduced. Plus, the more muscle you have in your body, the more it's going to increase your metabolism. So it's going to help increase your resting metabolic rate, having more muscle. Now, the third thing resistance training does is that it improves your blood work. It actually can lower that A1C number. Now, that A1C number, you may have heard your doctor talk about, measures like how much sugar, how much carbohydrates you've been eating over a 3-month period. And you don't want that number to be too high. I think 5.7 is the max that your doctor would like that number to be. See, when you're lifting weight, just think, you're burning carbohydrates. You're actually burning up the excess sugars within your body. Plus, the more muscle mass you have on your body. See, muscle stores excess carbohydrates in the form of glycogen. So when you increase your muscle mass, you actually increase your body's capability of storing away excess sugars, excess carbohydrates. So having more muscle is actually protective and can help lower that A1C number. Now, the fourth thing that resistance training does is that it increases your insulin sensitivity. And this is what insulin does. It's the storage hormone within your body. So for example, when you eat a meal, whatever calories you're not burning right then, all those excess calories get stored away with the help of insulin. See, the pancreas produces insulin, the storage hormone, to store away, say, excess carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are stored away in your muscles and your liver, right? Fat is stored in fat cells. Insulin also helps with protein synthesis. It actually helps rebuild the body. So the more muscle you have in your body from resistance training, the better insulin can work to store away excess calories. Weightlifters have very good insulin sensitivity. See, the worst thing you want to happen to your body is to have like a lot of visceral fat on your body, to be insulin resistant, meaning that insulin's not working properly, to have like a high A1C number, have too much sugar running through your bloodstream. So resistance training can work better than all these medications you might be taking, or maybe you have friends taking to control blood sugar. Now, the fifth thing resistance training does is that it improves your cardiovascular fitness. It's not just aerobics that makes your heart strong. Resistance training can also strengthen your cardiovascular system. Now, the sixth thing that resistance training can do for you is improve your cholesterol. It's going to lower the bad cholesterol, the triglycerides, the LDLs, and it's actually going to increase the good cholesterol, the HDL, the high density lipoproteins. It's going to improve your blood work. Now, the seventh thing that resistance training does, it makes your bones stronger. It's going to make them thicker and more dense. Now, the eighth thing that research has shown resistance training does is improve your cognitive ability. It's good for your brain to lift weights. Besides aerobic activity, it's important to do some type of resistance training to maintain good brain function. Now, the final thing that research has shown resistance training can do is it can reduce lower back pain. Pretty much everyone has experienced lower back pain at one time in their life. And just having more muscle mass in your body doing resistance training is a great way to prevent and reduce lower back pain. Now, I hope I made a really good argument why you just have to start resistance training, especially when you're older. It's like a miracle drug. All you have to do is spend 20 minutes 2 to 3 times per week doing some basic resistance training. Now, if you want a program to follow, check out this video I have here.